welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name is Jojo, and I'm back again to bring us value. And of course, this video I'm going to be sharing something really interesting with us, and it's about Valentine. Because tomorrow, at the production of this video, at the while I'm recording this video, like today's date is the 13th of February 2022, and tomorrow obviously is Valentine Day, and I decided to just try making a video of from Valentine, like trying to you know kind of trying to let you know what Valentine is in my own little findings, and see how I could stir up a conversation around Valentine, you understand? Because I noticed that there have been so many misconceptions and so many things that people have been thinking about Valentine that really is not Valentine. So I decided to just go online, do some research, and see how I can kind of make, as I said, create a discussion around Valentine. So then I'm gonna just show you what I found out. First of all, Valentine is not an American celebration. Like many people usually think that probably it's a tradition from the West, whereby maybe it's American, one of those American festivals like the ones we usually see and all of that. So Valentine is not an American celebration. So, and of course, Valentine was actually not like the real stuff. It was not all about having love, sharing love and all of that. No, that wasn't the major idea of Valentine. There were so many, there are so many things revolving around that idea of Valentine. So, which I'm going to show you guys real quick. First of all, I was able to find out that some thousands of years ago, there was a kind of after the death of Jesus Christ and all of that, the Rome Empire was actually growing so well, and so many things were happening and all of that. And so the Christians back then were really having a lot of persecutions from the Roman empires. And so there have been so many killings of Christians and so many stuff, so many rules that were against the Christians. But however, um, back then there was this celebration that they usually do, and it was called, it was a celebration of the Lucapalia. Lucapalia is actually the god of fertility in the Roman. It's a Roman festival in the Roman Empire. It's a god of fertility. So literally, what um, they do in celebration of this god was that they would kill a goat and a dog, because they usually believe that goats and dogs really had very good sexual, they have this very good sexual action. I don't know what else to use, but then they were very good at having sex. So it was more like the best way to do the whole of the celebrations for their god. So they killed a dog and of course a goat. And what happens is that the tongues of the dog and goats are usually being cut, and then young guys or some of those Lucapalus, which are their priests, will actually go carry these tongues and all of that, and then start hitting women with it. So what happens is that they believe that any woman that is being hit with this tongue of the dog and the goat will actually become, if they were infertile before, they will become fertile, or if they were no. So literally, young. What happens is that young women are usually sometimes very like in a very long queue to most times to want to get hit by these people, and so this was more like a tradition. So they believe that when you get hit by these animal skins and animal tongue, that you will get fertile, and of course maybe their children or stuff like that. So and or maybe if you never had a child before, you could get pregnant. So this was a religion, and of course there was another theory, or should I say another history. They usually see this month as a month of purification, like the month of February, they usually see it as a month of purification. So another history that went through also said that there is also a festival that they call the Februata, Juno Februata, and it's more like the celebration of for the goddess of women. So what happens is that during this festival, you know, women are usually what happens that women are supposed to write their names like in a piece of papers, and then they will have a kind of a large bowl, and these women will put their names on this paper and then put it inside a large bowl. So young men during this festival will come around and pick names out of those bowls. So the names of the women that they pick from that bowl will actually become their, partners for the day, erotic partners for the day. So they can just sometimes it's usually take for like 12 days or even more. And most times, this kind of relationship always or to some extent lead to marriages. So this was a consistent celebration in the Roman Empire, and but before then, or around that period, there was this Roman priest. He was a physician, and his name was Valentine, as we all know. And so, Valentine was actually a lover of God. He was a very committed member of the religion, the Christian religion. And so, because of the rules and the persecution of Christians back then, and all of that, Valentine was one of the persons who was against the Roman persecutions on Christians, and so he decided that because one of the there's an emperor that ruled Roman Empire then, Claudius the second, and so Claudius the second decided that there were not going to be marriages for his soldiers. So he actually believed that young men in his army shouldn't get married because he believed that soldiers are supposed to remain like they are not supposed to marry because to some extent they are supposed to become soldiers. And so if they are soldiers and they are married, they will actually be thinking of their families. So he wanted to get them off that stress of, or not really stress, because it wasn't the stress to marry, but then he wanted to have soldiers who are committed to war rather than committed to a family or a person. So, but however, Saint Valentine was actually doing what is called like a secret marriages for them. So he would take them to a secret place and marry for them, and without the knowledge of the emperor and all of that. But at the time, the emperor got to know about what was going on, and so he was captured and he was planned to be executed. So, however, while he was in the jail waiting execution, like the jailer, like one of the jail keeper, actually fell in love with him based on his personality, his kindness and goodness, and so he had a daughter, and he had to bring his daughter close to Valentine so that Valentine could actually help her to, because she was actually blind based on what people said that she was actually blind. And so Valentine was actually training her, teaching her, telling her stories about Jesus, about the Bible, and obviously making her to realize that the world is a better place, because she was blind, and so he was always telling her stories, and so she always loved his company. But different stories saying so different things. Some stories say that later Saint Valentine actually fell in love with the girl, and so when he was about to be executed, he wrote a letter for her and said, "This is from your Valentine." You understand? So this was how it started, and so literally people at that period, when after many years, there was more like a transformation of the Roman Empire whereby Christians began to dominate. So and Christians then so it was more like there was now an overthronement of those gods and overthronement of the worship of those gods. So Christianity was more prevalent that period. And so what happened was that when Christians came into power, they decided to change so many religion and so many festivals of the um, of the Roman Empire. And so one of what they changed was this worship of their gods, like this worship of Lupercalia, like the festival of having of fertility rather, of having to worship their gods. So they changed it, and it was also the same period that and so they decided that what was going to happen, instead of them just changing it to one random thing, they changed it to the Valentine's Day, which you all know about. And so it was more accredited, or more directed to the Saint Valentine. And so that was how it became very popular. And so it was, this celebration was then attributed to Saint Valentine. So but the question is Valentine actually Christianly? Because if Valentine was actually a celebration that was used to replace the worship of the gods of those lands, does it really mean that it's a safe way of worshiping God, or does it mean that it's a better option? Because for me, I don't know, but for me, I feel like there's a lot of misconception around this Valentine's Day. But however, what I want to say is that Valentine's Day, as we see it, is a day of love, but we shouldn't just love on Valentine's Day. We should love everybody as much as we can, even off Valentine, because some people are already planning that, oh my god, this is Valentine's Day, this is the day I'm going to show love. But really, that's not supposed to be the idea. We should just see it as a day of just celebrating the love of, or you understand, celebrating love. But however, we should not stop there. We should always continue to show love to people. And the question of, should we just show love to only people that are around us, our spouse, our friends, or the truth is, love is unconditional. We are supposed to show love to everybody and anybody we see. So today, and this brings us to the end of today's talk show. I don't really have anything much to say, but I just wanted to tell you I love you and have a great celebration. But however, remember that you should not do anything wrong. Don't go against the rules. Remember, don't go against the rules, because Valentine should just be a day for positivity. There's so many histories about Valentine, the gods, the spirits, the demons, the evil, and everything around Valentine. But what I think is, if you're celebrating it as a day of love, because the truth is, different beliefs are subjective. So sometimes for me, I don't know about this god, and so I don't care about it, and I don't want to know about it. If I'm celebrating Valentine, I'm celebrating it based on love. I'm not celebrating based on who or what reason they made it. So I don't care about that. So but then if you are celebrating it, make sure that you are celebrating the right way. Intentions matter. Intentions matter. I'm gonna say it again. Intentions matter, and make sure you have the right intention today, tomorrow, while celebrating your Valentine. And never forget that love is unconditional.